We go racing at Brands Hatch. Nevis will get a drive-through for jumping the start as we race into turn 1. How are they gonna fare? As they all go through to the right-hander. It's looking pretty clean as they go down the hill, trying to catch up with the rest of the drivers. It's Layla on the inside as Cody Lawrence tries to find a move around the outside, cannot get it done. Park is trying to find an advantage as the top 3 starts to get single file. How do they fare around Clark Curve? I did see one driver spin. 2, 3, 5 cars off. Just the one driver getting it wrong. May have been tapped around, but up at the front, it's still Layla leading. Andy Park will have a run around the outside as we now get into clearways. Slipstreaming engaged as Conti is going to watch out, and he's going to stay in his regular line. Park takes the regular racing line, try to look for the move, stays nose to tail. Oh, he's made contact! Andy Park's made contact with Cody Lawrence. He's been spinning down the order, facing the wrong direction, and that is a huge moment here for Cody Lawrence. I don't know what went wrong there. And now Eamon, he's holding on to third. Is there a chance that Regan could snipe a position? Has the run around the outside. It's a very brave move. Eamon will push him to the white line on the outside. Will it matter? Regan switches to the inside. Now Eamon will cover off the block. He'll line it up to the left-hander of Sterling's. He'll get back going. Position still the same, but Regan 2/10 behind. He wants to get a move done right away, but our pit stop's gonna come up for these two. Not yet. They both stay out. And it's such a fantastic race as Conti will enter into the box. Now Regan into Paddock Hill Bend. It's just like we saw with last lap with Emmanuel and Joshua, but this time around the inside line will work. Regan Milana's got it done, but Eamon will still fight. Tried to look to the inside line, realized he was not close enough. Will have to let go of the move. A Superman move there from Regan Milana and the number 95. He'll be flashing his headlights and screaming ka-chow to that one. Lawrence, you just saw him in the background. Really trying to chase down here, sliding that car even. Pushing it to all his might. Trying to get close. So we'll find out if there is a potential chance that he can join this fight here. But with a minute now officially left to go, we are on the final lap of the race. There's no extra lap from this point here. Layla and Andy coming home to try to finish P1 and P2 together, but it's the fight for P3 that really is starting to spark up as Conti defends. Van Dorn will have to take it round the outside. Door is shut, but the inside line, a potential chance. Contact is made between the two, and Van Dorn has been sent up to third. Wow! A little bit of door banging. I don't know if Conti may have tried to turn in a bit earlier than he wanted to. Regardless, though, it shuffled Van Dorn up to third. But up front, Layla Petraglia has shut up the haters, coming to the front straight, and she will win round 1 of the MX-5 Cup Championship. Layla with victory. Andy Park second. It's an alpha tail 1 and 2, and Mike Van Dorn around the final corner will take over the podium and get third position. What a race this was. Round 2 is going to come up in just a few minutes time. You don't want to go away for it. Cody Lawrence will finish 5th, Conti 4th. Of course, all the incidents will be reviewed at the end of this one. At the line here, Eamon Esper, Oleg, and Eamon will finish 7th. There's a lot of argy-bargy to the end there. It's 4 lights on the board. 4. Round number 2 of the championship. We go racing. Joshua Steinberg will get a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. Layla holds on to the lead. Andy Park P2. Mike Van Dorn P3 trying to hold on as they all start the single file. They learned their lesson in the first race, or are they going to try something new? Van Dorn will try to go down the inside as Conti round the outside, looking for a move, but the door is very much shut there into Graham Hill Bend. Single file between all of them, a little argy-bargy towards the rear pack. Little doors bumping here and there. Conti will go down the inside of Cody Lawrence. Eamon Esmir will try to find himself doing the exact same thing. Now they head down through Surtees, now into Pilgrim's Drop. Up at the front, it's still Layla in the lead in this first one. Eamon will try looking it down the inside. Cannot get it done. Pit window now officially open. You might want to get some big positions out here. And if P1, if you can do P1, well, that is what it's worth. Conti, that's a lot of work to do to defend this man here, Eamon Esmir. First of all, fighting a two-time champion. Now Eamon will kind of do the same thing that Regan did to him. Down the inside. Is it enough to hold on to the position? Not quite. Now Eamon can't do the same thing Regan did, as they both very safely go through. Oleg behind. Look at this fight here. Taberner will go down the inside. Can he take advantage of Eamon up the road? He cannot. He'll slide right in between Taberner and Conti. Also, we see Alexander trying to get a piece of this action here. Could it be 4 wide? As you see the Williams of Alexander trying to get a great run here. It is basically 4 wide as they head into one. Trying to find the best of angles there on the exit there. I did see a little bit of a hip check that Conti took pretty harsh, but didn't get sent into the gravel, so he's still fine. What a great bit of action there. Cody Lawrence needs the inside at this point. The outside, it's so difficult. He'll try now. Maybe 3rd time's the charm to get the move done. Taberner trying to find a move on the inside. Mike Van Dorn will hug the inside here. Lawrence around the outside. Can they hold on? Van Dorn squeezes him to the curb, but I think this time Lawrence, he does so. Yes, he gets the move done through Paddock Hill Bend. He'll take the inside line. He'll get the move done. Cody Lawrence, ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic drive. It's not over yet because he's got to break away, and Mike Van Dorn is going to want to lunge this one down the inside. In the back, Taberner got the move done on Eamon Esmir, who's following up on this fight. Could not get it done. Eamon, meanwhile, trying to go for a move on Taberner. Cannot get it this time by. A little bit alongside each other. Not quite enough for him. We'll still go on board with them, but we watch the fight in front. Mike Van Dorn will take it to the outside, as well as Eamon. Both of them can't get it done. The outside is just way too difficult to get the move done. And Park gets a 10-second time penalty for cutting the circuit. And ladies and gentlemen, a gap that is 13 seconds is essentially 3 seconds. Van Dorn could potentially have a chance at a race win. And Park just needs to start pushing. Speaking of pushing, a little bit of door-to-door action. Bump drafting even. Now it's 12 seconds. That is insane. Andy Park, 10-second time penalty. Whoa! Even more contact. Does Oleg hold on? Oleg does. Almost as if he got pushed out the way there by Nevis, and Regan will take advantage. Andy Park desperately pushing like it's a qualifying lap. No more mistakes. Cannot afford any. Oh, it's a little slide. Oh, it's trouble. A drift. Oh my goodness. What a slide there from Andy Park. Pushing with all his might. It's shades of 2008. Going to the line here at Interlagos, but it's Andy Park. It's 9.7 though. Andy will win it on track here. Victory for Andy Park, but Cody Lawrence, is it enough? Is it enough? We look at the time. It's still bouncing around. We'll find out. What's it gonna be? Has he done it? Has he done it? I'm not too sure. He slowed down at the line. I don't think we're gonna know now. Van Dorn will finish 3rd. Navis 4th. Oh my goodness, we don't know who took victory there.
cheap enough to last. Heart full of broken glass, and I'm gonna paint it black. Oh, I got bruises I covered up. I've been used every time I loved. Nothing to lose when the devil comes. Oh, turn up the lights, we can turn them out, 'cause turn up the lights, we can burn them out, 'cause I know what's waiting, I know what it's made of, what it's made of. Come and take me closer to the edge now. If you think you can't love me, I can show you how to have a breakdown. If you're gonna touch me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. It is time for rounds 3 and 4 of the CMRSC Mazda MX-5 Cup. A stellar lineup we have here. We're live in Canada at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. It's Mosport. It's a circuit that these MX-5s know very well in the real world of motorsport. But now, we're going to get into some action. We're going to get into some great racing. A circuit very simple on paper, so it's all about maximizing the best of your ability with the machines you have under you. It's completely fixed setups for all the drivers in the exact same identical car. And I'm noticing, while we're still waiting, that's pretty interesting. A driver already getting able to drive. Not too sure about that. But we are ready. An action-packed qualifying session here. Ready to go. So stay tuned. In 10 seconds, we get racing. But we got to start off and find out who's taking pole. Green lights out. Let's get this one underway. All right, so segment 1 has begun. All segment 1 drivers are free to head out on circuit. Here we go. So qualifying officially begun. We're going to get one half of this group on track. So it's going to be a very interesting qualifying to see what goes down here as we have drivers entering into the session as well, getting back going. And we're going to see a lot of names out here. Some of them are returning from last week and some of them brand new to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. And if it is your first time viewing the live stream, welcome. And we hope you enjoy the action ahead of us here this evening. So, this first part of qualifying beginning out here. We're going to get half the group of drivers. Looks like we have in store with us potentially 22 cars. So, it's going to be a very awesome race out here. But we have to find out who is setting the fastest lap time to determine the grid. Let's turn up the audio a bit here. But here we go, rounding out the final corner. Onto the front straight, Mohammed will carry us through a lap here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Into turn 1, you want to hug that inside curb. You don't want to hug it for too long. It will spit you out. Short line here, now into turn 2. Left-hander, downhill, flat out. Just hold on to the throttle. If you got to make that lift, you have to. At the end of the day, you don't want to get track limits, but you want to keep the foot down. Now into Quebec, right-hander, little lift. Get right back on the loud pedal. Let the car drift out as wide as you need to. Don't fight the steering too hard. Now into the left-hander, downhill as we head into Moss. Very tricky part of the section. Double right-hander, slowest part of the circuit here. Get it very wide on corner exit of the first right-hander, and then swoop it right through. Do not touch any of the curbs as you head out onto the Mario Andretti straightaway. And just like that, a little bit of a break before we get into the S. It's a very interesting part for these cars when you're in just a single car qualifying like this. It's all about maximizing to the length of your white lines and tarmac here. Let's see how Mohammed does. Double right-hander, shifting down very early. You do want to get down into fourth, then eventually third for the left-hander. Looks like Mohammed's going to stay in fourth gear, swing it to the right-hander, then now onto the front straight. Maybe track limits, will be track limits, crashing into the wall. Yellows are out. Mohammed will stay where he is, so now Danny Nasseir will cross the line, will be the first driver to set a lap time. It's a 1:33.5. to begin us off here in qualifying. More drivers to come up next. Klaus up 34.1. Taberner yet to complete a lap. We watch here with a manual. Pi crossing the line. P4 manual. P5. And our first bit of qualifying already done. Some yellows out. Here's Mohammed trying to get out the way. Leonardo getting through. Klaus up the road. And some yellow flags still showing us on display here. So, looks like whatever went wrong there. Still probably cleaning up the debris. Well, we're still a green track out here. Taberner will go faster. And now fastest in this first segment with a 1:32.7. See if we can remove those flags. And we have, so we are solid. We are good to go. And we continue to watch here. Danny Nasseir all by himself. Clear track ahead of him. New paint out here in the Alfa Romeo inspired livery into the rights and lefts through the Assetto section. Now into the left-hander. Taberner going quicker this time by as he heads into Moss. Danny Nasseir clips the curb on the inside, a mistake, and he goes spinning now as well. He hits the wall, and, well, that final corner claiming a lot of lives, and he's going to head right back on track. Klaus now crossing the line. It's only good enough to stay P3. And now Tiago next to the line. Who's up next? Pi up close here into turn 1. Only good enough for 5th. But Daniel Taberner is lighting up the sectors. It's purple in the first sector. Sector 2, a 32.9. So really flying on this lap. The British driver who was able to have a great showcase last week wants to continue the momentum in this one. Now around the final quarter, heading over to the line. It surely will be improvement. It's a 32.2 at the line, and he is continuing to be the fastest man here in this split. And a lot of traffic through Moss. And on exit. And coming over the crest of the Mario Andretti straightaway. It's anything but straight. It continues to turn constantly to the right. A little bit of elevation as we watch them go under the Canadian Tire bridge into the right-hander, Klaus. What can he do? Sitting P4, one of the longest drivers to be with us here in CMRC from the very beginning. He'll take it around the final corner and on to the front straight from P4. He'll improve up to a 3rd place. Muhammad behind will go up to 2nd, a 33.0. Great lap time from him. Thiago next to the line. Leonardo next, Pi. And mistake once again. I think that's, is that Emmanuel? It is. Danny Nasseir will cross him. And Emmanuel will stay where he is. Not much time left. As qualifying for this first segment coming to an end, we're waiting for that 15-minute mark. Then the drivers have just that final lap to complete their lap times. And the drivers, the rest of them in the pits. Layla Petraglia, Andy Park, Oleg, Eamon, Daniel Santos, Kasper Teshiaki, Andy Rees as well. Massimo Tutoro will be on track. The favorites is what a lot of drivers would call them. A lot of fans in CMRSC would be saying these are the best of the best. But Daniel Taberner out this group, really shining high. I mean, he was in segment 2 last week, so maybe not putting in as much lap times in practice that he would have wanted to, but he's very quick in these MX-5, so keep an eye out for him once we get to racing conditions. Heading back here with Muhammad into the left-hander and then the right-hander of the Assets. Now, what can he do? Final corner for him. Can he stick the final corner perfectly and make sure he's avoiding that curve for good measure? And even quicker now with 32.9. Still a bit away from that fastest time. Taberner, however, is looking very quick on this lap as well. Kirill next to the line. P4. And that purple and yellow. Danny Nasseir crossing it. He's 3rd. P8. Emmanuel crossing the line. What can he do? He stays 8th. But Taberner with a purple middle sector will cross the line. It's not going to be improvement. It's 0.9 off his best time. And we're going to get the warning from the stewards that we have 60 seconds left. 1 minute. 1 minute left in segment 1. So around Moz, a lot of these drivers sticking very close together, maybe trying to get a bit of a cheeky slipstream. Klaus will not be able to against Muhammad. There he goes in that black and white. Fantastic looking livery. Daniel Taberner, quicker once again on this lap. Let's see what he can do. Into the Assets once again, 2nd fastest. And once again, what can he do? Any chance of it? Final corner for him. A lot of a better entry. Gonna use all that curb on exit. Now to the line. Will stay P2 at 33.1. 8 seconds left. That's going to be the first part of qualifying. So checkered flag is going to be out. Virtual checkered flag, virtual checkered flag. Head to the pits once you complete your lap. Crossing the line at this stage, you must head straight to the pits. So final chance, a lot of these drivers did make it. 2 drivers who are going to complete their qualifying. It's Emmanuel and Daniel Taberner who will go quicker with a 32.2. So both of them will head to the pits. Their qualifying is complete. We have a couple more drivers left now to complete this first segment of qualifying, and we get into segment 2 for the final 10 minutes of the session. Then we get into the first of 2 30-minute classics. Klaus behind. Looks like he's taking it into the pits because Mohammed all by himself. Thiago, yellow flags. He gets out the way. I think he might still complete this lap as well. And Kirill also will get the overtake on the slow-moving Thiago Rivaz. We head up to Mohammed. Oh, making a mistake on the inside curb. Manages to hold on, gets around the final corner. Is there any sort of improvement that was on the table? Maybe 33.3 if that mistake didn't happen. Maybe there was a chance. Here comes Leonardo next to the line, to the right-hander. The Italian will race to it. From P9 will complete his qualifying session, staying in 9th position. Danny Nasseir and Thiago Rivaz will take it straight to the pits, and just like that, it will conclude the first segment of qualifying. And just like that, that's how it's looking. So Daniel Taberner will top off the standings, followed by Mohammed, and we have Kirill, Danny Nasseir, Thiago, Klaus, Emmanuel, Pi, Leonardo, and that is already it, because Layla, Andy, Evan, Mike, Alexander, Eros, Richard, Oleg, Eamon, Daniel, Casper, Andy, and Massimo will be next. So here we go. Game on. So segment 2 will be coming out at exactly the 10-minute mark. All segment 1 drivers must stay in the pits at all times, not leaving their box. Segment 2 drivers must stay in their box until the 10 minutes left to go in the session. Then you're free to come out. So that's the first part of qualifying. Tunes here by Monstercat. And that is it. So we're getting into the second part here. Welcome aboard if you are tuning in for your very first stream here in CMRSC. Welcome to one of the fastest growing sim racing channels on YouTube with some of the best competition you're going to see in Assetto Corsa. We race every Saturdays at this time slot wherever you are around the world. We're getting ready for segment number 2. Then it's 30 minutes of racing. Let's take a look at the format, shall we? So we've already completed the first part of qualifying. Free practice already done and dusted. We get into now this next part here. Race 1. Gonna be at the top of the hour, coming up in 15 minutes time. After that, we head into race 2. So 2 30-minute races. It's going to mean mandatory tire changes. We're not going to get any sort of virtual safety cars or an extra lap as well. So these drivers have to make sure they're keeping it clean out there, because qualifying, once that's complete and we get racing, it's pretty tricky out there once we get going. But nonetheless, 40 seconds left to go. We've already completed the first 2 rounds over at Brands Hatch for the British Grand Prix here in Canada now for the Canadian GP. Next week, we head to Sportsland Sugo. If you've never heard of Sugo before, it is a fantastic Japanese circuit. Very, very underrated, I will say. It's one you cannot miss out. Then the final round, Sydney Motorsport Park. Let's get green flag for segment number 2. Segment 2 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Segment 2, qualifying begun. You have until the checkered flag and the session completed. All segment 1 drivers must stay in the pits at all times. Good luck. So, here we go. The bunch coming out on track, and it's a party with the buzzing bees of these MX-5s to quickly get around. They have 10 minutes to set down their fastest lap time, just like the first segment, but you're going to notice a clear difference. There's a hell of a lot more drivers on track looking for some space, but I think right now they're having fun. They're racing. This looks like lap 1 of the race. And then you see some drivers backing off there, just going over the crest, trying to find each other some sort of space. They don't look like they want to give each other some space. Maybe the slipstream is a very big help. So we'll find out. Chat cheering on Andy and Layla. Look at them go. You see, yeah, Casper, I think that is. Evan Steinberg also trying to find some space. Let's find the car who is leading this group. It's Andy Park. And Andy Park is being chased down by Mike Van Dorn. Mike, who's probably going to want to get a lovely bit of slipstream around this one. But here we go. Segment 2 of qualifying underway. They're all going to want to get a bit of slipstream. This is going to get very competitive, but let's do it. Andy Park will start us off and kick us off here in qualifying for segment number 2. Into turn 1. Little kiss on the curb on the inside line. Don't go wide on that exit curb. You don't need to. Now into turn 2, the left-hander. How much can you get that throttle pinned down? Oh, it's perfect. A perfect line there from Andy Park, hugging the inside. Now into Quebec, right-hander. Do we see a little quick shift down to 4th gear? A little bit wide, though. Trying to hold on right to the white line. Looks like Mike Van Dorn may have followed that exact same line. Now into the left-hander, downhill section. Into Moss. Very tricky part of this course. Down to 3rd. Open up the corner as much as possible. A little touch on the curb on the outside, missing the apex. Just a couple more inches onto the inside. I know Park would prefer, but it's this opening lap that all the drivers behind just want to get over with, and then they can start trying new things. Then they could really start pushing it, but you want to get that banker lap in just to give yourself that confidence, knowing if all else doesn't work, at least I had one. That's what all these drivers are going to be focusing out for currently right now. Eamon Espeir, purple in the first sector. Daniel Santos, purple in sector 2. So rounding out this final couple of corners here, Park looking very clean here. Trying to look for his first win in MX-5 Cup, rounding out the final corner, using all the track limits as possible. Park will be fastest with a 31.8. Eamon will go P2 with a 31.878. So, gap between them very close, 14/100ths of a second. Daniel Tabiter's time is still going to hold on to P3. Down the rest of the order, Alexander Ferrero, Mike Van Dorn, Oleg, Eros, Andy Rees will shoot up to 4th position. And Richard Nevis will be that top 10. Let's swap gears now. Let's find Eamon Espeir. P2, hunting down. Park, though, maybe a driver to watch out for. Faster in the first sector. An incredible run as they now go downhill once again for Moss. I'm surprised that none of these drivers are impeding each other. They have basically the perfect amount of space. Van Dorn losing out on that second part of Moss, trying to hustle through. But now on the left-hander, onto the Mario Andretti straightaway. Once again, this is what the racing's going to be looking like this close. It's going to be a fantastic effort. Park will take Sector 2. Eamon, Sector 1, fastest for him. But that Sector 2, just 0.5 off. And he's got Alexander behind him, pushing hard. Don't want to get into contact. That would lead to penalty territory. Now, to the line. Andy Park, here he comes to cross the line now. From a 31.864, it's a 31.572. Espeir will only take it to a 31.8. Santos will now improve officially, 31.991. Klaus just helping out Tiago in the paddock pen. He's asking for fuel numbers, and Klaus is helping him out there, so very friendly. And if you want to get a part of a very friendly community here and have some fun racing, these MX-5s will only be around for 2 more weeks. And then we head into our next championship that actually will be announced very soon. Oh, like trouble. Narrowly avoids that tire barrier on the left side. Gets away with it. But now into the right-hander. For Ale, fighting that car very hard. Eros Conti, by the way, second place in qualifying. But not enough for pole position. That gap is 2/10 off. And Park wants to get this pole position. Wants to get really fast here. Into the right-hander. Through the Assets. And Alexander Ferrero finding himself quicker in the middle sector as he's getting ready to complete his lap. Park now will come around the final corner and a lot more wider there. I wonder if dipping to the grass is the best idea. It's working out. Park is quicker. 31.4. Eros Conti next to the line. Alexander Ferrero, not enough for a quicker time. He'll stay P5, but the Argentinian driver coming to the line now. Fastest in the middle sector. Is it enough for provisional pole? It is not. Just missing out on improving on his lap time. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. And, oh, trouble. Casper will take it to the pits. And next up here, Evan Steinberg, P20, has found no space in this qualifying session, and now finding a bit of room for himself, a lot of space where he can just chill out and focus on his laps. He doesn't have the beauty of the slipstream, but I think he just wants to focus and put down some laps here around the final corner. Here he goes to the line now. From a 34.0 to now a much more respectable 33.2, but still a long ways to go. P15 at the moment. And Andy Park quicker in the middle sector. Once again, Park is just able to nail it down in the first two sectors. Is this another lap? Will Andy Park go quicker? Currently, a 31.453 will now round out the final corner, race to the line, crossing it now, and it's not going to be improvement. It is just off on that lap time there. And I'll try again. 2 minutes left to go at the time. So, ticking down. 2 minutes to go. So far, your top 10. Daniel Tabner, the only driver from Segment 1 able to survive this onslaught of Segment 2 drivers. Then P9, Oleg. P8, Daniel Santos. 7th, Richard Nevis. 6th, Alexander Ferrero. 5th, Mike Van Dorn. 4th, Eamon Espear. Leila Petraglia getting a good lap time there. Now in the second row, P3, Eros Conti. P2, Andy Park. P1, and faster on this lap on the Mario Andretti straight away, looking for a faster lap time here. No slipstream for Andy Park, has not had slipstream once in this qualifying session. So we're going to find out if this lap time is enough. Is there a chance for Andy Park to go even quicker, to really cement himself as the pole driver, as the fastest man? The intimidation, we'll find out here. Into the left-hander, a little slide on the rear end, open up the corner for the final turn onto the front straight. A lot more cleaner on exit to the line. It's a 31.3 provisional pole, even quicker. And Alexander Ferrero will go up to second with a 31.6. Pushing down Conti, who he stays in the pits. And we're in the final 30 seconds. So that is going to mean that driver in P12, Casper, looks like this is his final chance. Trouble for Park. Making a mistake. He's gone wide. He's let go a whole heap of cars. He's not going to be able to get to the line. So 10 seconds left to go. And even Layla has trouble. Here we go. Time is officially up. Casper will be the first driver to the line, and the checkered flag from P12 will go to 9th position. P13 will be next to the line. Here comes Evan Steinberg to the left-hander. Little slide, kicking up that curb. Right-hander now, 1 corner to go. It's going to be way too wide. Holding on desperately onto track limit to the line. And that is not going to be any improvement. Daniel Santos has Alexander Ferrero behind him, Eamon Espear ahead of him, and Mike Van Dorn leading this train. Mike is actually going to let go of Eamon, who got a lovely bit of slipstream there. Now, it's interesting to note that Mike is fighting for the championship, so is letting through Eamon a good idea? We'll find out here around the final corner. Mike tries his best to get out the way. Eamon goes deep off the circuit. He's going to get a track limit violation. Santos will be the one to improve to P6. And Alexander Ferrero, no improvement from him. Last but not least, I think it's P15 of Massimo Tutoro to cross the line. He's gonna put it on for a P15 performance there. Just like that, qualifying complete. It's Andy Park who will take pole position with a 131.330. What a top 3. It's a Latin American top 3. What a performance. What an absolute performance there from these drivers. Great qualifying there. So much fun. Congratulations, your top 3. That goes to Andy, Alexander, and Eros. And yes, it's a Latin top 3. And a Latin front row as well. So fun qualifying there. Hopefully we can see some action like that for the race. But speaking of racing, let's talk about it. 1 mandatory pit stop is going to be underway as soon as the race begins. The pit window will open and it will close with the final 5 minutes left to go in the race. So all drivers need to come into the pits within that pit window to change their tires. So that is the rule here. So what a great qualifying. But that is your results here in this one. We get ready for racing. Don't go anywhere for race number 1 of 2, round 3, coming up right about now.
You got scars deep enough to last, a heart full of broken glass, and I'm gonna paint it black. Oh, I got bruises I covered up. I've been used every time I loved. Nothing to lose when the devil comes. Oh, turn up the lights, we can turn them out, 'cause turn up the lights, we can burn them out, 'cause I know what's waiting, I know what it's made of, what it's made of. Come and take me closer to the edge now. If you think you can't love me, I can show you how to have a breakdown. If you're gonna touch me. got scars deep enough to last. Heart full of broken glass, and I'm gonna paint it black. Oh, I got bruises I covered up. I've been used every time I loved. Nothing to lose when the devil comes. Oh, turn up the lights, we can turn them out, 'cause turn up the lights, we can burn them out, 'cause I know what's waiting, I know what it's made of, what it's made of. Come and take me closer to the edge now. If you think you can't love me, I can show you how to have a breakdown. If you're gonna touch me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 3 of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's MX-5 Cup. Let's get ready. Lights are on your screen. 5, and we go racing! Andy Park with a great launch, followed by Alexander, who's kind of been bogged down. Here comes on the outside Conti. Layla will try to get on the inside. Eamon Espear followed by Daniel Santos as they head down into turn number 2. It's going to get really tight, almost 3 wide, as Ferrero trying to defend off the 2 drivers ahead, one in the grass. That's Layla. Now Layla on the inside, trying to get the dive bomb down. Alexander trying to hold on, just cannot. 2 by 2 in the background. Eamon Espear just shuffling up. He's now into 3rd position. Andy Park, he's been able to get the great getaway, but now they head into Moss. It's going to get very tight around this section here. Mike Van Dorn's been taken out. It's a 3-car collision of it just because of one driver. And a huge accident. Oh, and Evan Steinberg, he just went right over the curb. A lot of drivers taken out from that opening get-go, but we are back in racing. Looks like everybody was shaken up from that moment, but it's still green. Opening chaos. We haven't seen much of it back in round 2, but it was surely there in round 1. But that's what happens. One driver making a mistake, tapping the rear, and that's what happens. 3 cars absolutely shafted there that time by. But around the final corner, it's an Alpha Tail, 1-2. Eamon, 3rd position. Alexander Ferrero, P4. Richard Nevis has a bit of a train behind him. Casper hustling up, looking to turn 1. Cannot get it this time by. As we head up through to turn number 2. Left-hander. Flat out, but you're in the slipstream, so Casper gonna take a bit of a lift. Richard has touched the grass on the inside. Casper will have to take it out wide to avoid any sort of collision there. Gets right back and going. Meanwhile, up the road, Eamon Espear all over the rear of Layla because she made a mistake on the exit. And Eamon maybe lining up for a dive bomb into Moss. Will go for the dive bomb down the inside. 2 Italians at it. Layla going wide. Alexander tried to take advantage. Could not get it done. So now Eamon is up to P2. And already getting hunted back. Layla trying to look for the position again. And can he do it? 4 cars from 19 to 22nd are all the way sent backwards from this early goings of this race. Still a long way to go, but here we go. Layla with an opportunity will look for the outside in the grass. However, it's not safe whatsoever. Can Layla hold on? Just about recovers. Will lose the podium. And unfortunately, will only lose a single position, but a position that she cannot afford to lose. P4 in the championship by a long ways from the top 3. We're very close in points. Cody Lawrence not here today, but then you have Mike Van Dorn up there. Layla, though, trying to get back going from the outside. Can the outside work this time? Downhill, left-hander. Alex will push and push as wide as he can. Will have to leave the respectable racing room. Does so. Door is very much shut. Layla taps Alexander in the rear, saying, all right, you want to play like that? Come on then. Fight me then. Bumps the rear once again. Layla's not happy whatsoever. True MX-5 Cup racing. You anger one of these bees, they'll all attack you like you attacked the queen. Here we go. Layla, anytime on the inside. Not this time around, but very close on the rear end. Eamon in the foreground, making a mistake, will allow both 3rd and 4th position to get right to him. And their battle for P2 could get underway very shortly. We also have in the background Casper in trouble because he's got Daniel Taberner for company, and Taberner will go up to 6th. But back on the slipstream, and he'll get the move right on the inside. Oh, Lemon actually bump draft him. Absolutely whack the rear end to say, get a move on. And Alex tap the rear of Layla. Does Layla save it? Yes, she does. Alexander returning the bump, returning the favor. And it's getting real messy out here. Alex and Layla not going to play cool with each other. You tap me, I'll tap you. And now we're really getting some proper aggressive racing between these two drivers. It's going to be a fun rivalry. They have 25 minutes to settle their beef before they get into the second one. But almost basically a full hour of racing for these drivers here today. So they want to make a most of it, especially championship-wise. And Layla wants to get a move on, start focusing on Eamon up the road. But that's the first big story there. Oh, Nevis thought he was going to go wide. Taberner did. Just rubbing those wheels on the outside. Sometimes you can get lucky, but other times it's not going to work out greatly for you. And Casper is going to try a move down the inside. Is right there for the taking. Doors open. Casper will trying to get some sort of space, but not able to do so. Andy Rees in this fight as well. And Casper gonna tuck right in. Is there a little bit of a bump draft to maybe hustle him up to try to catch up on the few ahead? It's 1.3 to difference. Andy Rees will take it to the outside. Bump drafting more than enough allowed in this type of racing here. You just gotta hit them square on from the rear. And Taberner will go side by side. And from the outside will hold on. 6th place still to the British driver. Now into the right-hander to complete another lap. It's Andy Park who will get the fastest lap of this race. And still undecided on who is going to be finishing in what positions. We still have pit stops to go. We have a long race, but these drivers are feeling very racy early on in this one. So can't wait to see what they do. But crowd is loving it. Chat is loving it. It's a great showcase out here. And Casper will get down the inside and get the move back. So he's up to 6th. And Andy Rees will try to get the move. Wrestling side by side. Sliding the rear. Can't hold on to it. Just about to get back under control. Taberner 7th. He's on the inside line. Can Rees get the outside? He cannot. He'll tuck back in. Maybe try to look for a move onto the inside of Moss. Cannot get it. There you see some of the tire marks from that gravel trap from the opening lap here. One driver who I'm sure isn't happy is Daniel Santos. who was collected, as well as Mike Van Dorn, who's really shuffled it up. There he is, and there's Massimo. Trouble for him. He hits the wall through Moss, getting it back into gear, and he's back going. Not what you want, but if your name is Layla, this is exactly what you need right now. Coming up to this fight here for second place against the mighty Assetto, champion of GT World in 2026. And he's looking for more glory here today to try to have a great showcase. But how is he going to fare with Layla faster than him throughout the week of practice? We'll see. Here is Andy Rees with this fight here. This is your fight for P6. Daniel Taberner, does he get an opportunity to try to fight back into this battle here? Now, downhill left-hander. Taberner a little bit wide. Casper kicking up some grass. Andy Rees with the better line onto the inside now and heading into Quebec. Very soft on the brakes. Maybe a little too much for Andy Rees. Avoided the rear end of Daniel Taberner. Did not want to get involved in that one there. But great showcase here, and up the road, Nevis putting on some pressure on Ferrero, who was fighting in this podium. But unfortunately, just losing out early on, and now under pressure when the driver is behind. So Ferrero trying to get through. Nevis, P5. Now this battle here, 6th. Does Taberner return the favor with the bump trap? No, he'll take it to the outside under the Canadian Tire bridge. Will we see a brilliant outside move play out in front of us here? We'll find out. It's very close between each other, but it's going to be Casper that's going to hold on to this fight here. And we watch on board with P8 of Andy Rees. Casper going a little bit deep on exit. This will allow Taberner the inside line. He'll have to send it, but maybe a little too far, so he'll just back out, take the regular racing line. Rees is just going to continue to watch this fight here as it goes down up the road. You also see Nevis trying to go down the inside of Alexander Ferrero, and looks like he's able to just about get that move done. No! Round the inside, holding on. Ferrero will still keep that position. Oh, trouble! Trouble happens, ensues here. Daniel Taberner makes contact with Casper. It's shades of last week where Taberner made a similar mistake running into the rear of Eamon Espeir, and he's made it once again, chasing close down. That's not what you want. And both of them sent backwards out of this order. And a huge shame, another harsh moment there for Daniel Taberner, just tapping the rear, not going as well as he wanted to. And here comes Layla up the inside. Oh, it's so close, almost hitting the wall on the inside. Eamon not giving her any sort of room. Layla's gonna shoot up to second. Can she hold on? Eamon Espeir will try to get the rear end. We'll switch it to the inside. Incredible racing if they can hold on. Layla with the inside line. Eamon Espeir will have to try to go for the in and out. Well, bump draft. Layla's been set spun. Layla's been taken out by Eamon Espeir. It's trouble and drama. Eamon Espeir. Well, how do you want to say with that one? You can let me know in the comments, in the chat. What do you think of that one? Conti is out of this race as well. He's gone. He's retired. And Layla will be absolutely fuming at that incident. And we'll have a lot of strong words to say by the end of it, but still, long race left to go. Nevis trying to look for a move. Nevis in the grass will be slowed down, and Mike Van Dorn, who was a part of that harsh incident earlier, will try to get back and going. And chat not agreeing at all with that incident, and I will have to side with you there. A full speed hit onto the rear. It was supposed to be a bump draft, but I guess you just didn't hit it that square on. Chad is furious as well. I know Layla is going to be fuming at that one. Has Andy Rees ahead, and I think Layla right now 17 minutes left. We'll probably have to just work on the podium, maybe just to scrape it. And if she does, I'm sure she's going to have a lot of words about it. Her teammate, however, having a brilliant race. It's shades of round one, where it was Layla who was dominating this one. A little bit of a cut there on the inside. All drivers have to make sure their right side tire, their left side tires, I should say, are on the outside of the white line. They must stay 2 tires within track limits, so that is a bit of a cut there for Andy. Maybe a mistake, but pushing hard nonetheless. And there is Layla trying to fight now to Andy Rees. Chat saying she deserves better. That is some disappointing quality of racing. Eamon Espear, Layla Petraglia, a lot of words exchanged in the past, back and forth. And that was the opportunity. And Layla, credit to her, she raced him very hard. And Eamon just, unfortunately, I know it wasn't what he expected there with that kind of tap. But these cars and the physics set here in this sim, it's very fragile. But nonetheless, it doesn't look like it has stopped the momentum of Layla, because she's right back here in this fight. Here comes Andy Rees and Layla with this fight here. Let's see if the aggression has changed for Layla. Is it now a time of desperation to get moves done quickly, or are we going to see a different side? She's going to take it to the outside this time. Try to see if she can get it the full way around. Very close by. Rees is going to hold on to the line. Respectable racing between the two, and the driver from Denmark may have to let go of that position. Will have to let go of that position. And Layla's up to 4th. Alexander Ferreira will take it to the pits for his mandatory tire change. Layla now onto the podium as it stands. So lots of work left to go in this race. And a lot of incredible battles to look out for. Here's one. Daniel Santos, Mike Van Doren. Once again, 2 drivers collected from the opening stages of this one. And, going wide there, that is Casper, as well as Daniel Tabiner. Now, track limits are in effect from going wide at that part of the circuit, so they're going to have to make sure they keep their eyes on the prize and not make any sort of mistakes like that. We look back at round 2 and the mistake that Andy Park made in a gap very much ahead of the field and just got it wrong. Ran wide too many times outside track limits, paid the price, lost his race win. And that's trouble for Pi, the Canadian, making his debut out here today, at home as well, might I add. Currently sitting P13. And there is Alexander Ferrero with fresh new tires. And here comes Andy Park for a pit stop. Eamon Espear will stay out this lap. Layla, teammates with Andy Park, will now take it into the pits. I had a feeling they were going to be running some identical setups. Andy Rees will now be shuffled up to 2nd. And that's going to be followed by Nevis and Santos. Mike Van Doren behind. So he chases down this fight here. And this is your battle for 3rd position. Now, is there anything to work home with at this stage of the race? We're now at the halfway point of this one. We see Tavar Clark now joining into the session. Welcome. He'll be racing. He'll be a couple laps down, so I know he's just going to be wanting to focus on putting some of his own laps in. Trying to see what he can do. Chat saying they're very afraid of Layla indeed, but let's see how Layla does in this race. Both Layla and Andy Park out on track. So there's Layla P11 and Park in 8th. Do any of them have clear air? Andy does have a good bit of clear space ahead of him. And Layla, look at that. Not that far off of Alexander Ferrero. And you know what? If Layla could lap quick, she can get right up to Eamon once he pits. Because Eamon at this stage, he's on some worn out tires. They're not completely worn out. Even if you do run this race for a full 30 minutes on the same compound, they won't necessarily be worn out to the point where you're going to lose an incredible amount of grip. but it's still new tires, and that's going to be some hot lapping qualifying pace for Layla. Nevis now into the pits, as well as Casper, to take their mandatory pit stops. And it still is Assetto in the lead, 6.2 up ahead. And Santos, third position. Down to the right-hander. And we're going to get interviews for the top 3 after this first race. And folks, don't go anywhere. We do have another race coming up. It's going to be round 4 of the championship. Round 5 and round 6, week 3 of Mazda Cup will be over in Japan. Japanese GP at Sportsland Sugo. A very fun track, and a track very favorited by this man here, Mike Van Dorn, rocking the Red Bull livery. I know he's going to be very happy. He's always found some great success, so hopefully when we get there, we could see Mike Van Dorn really turn up the band here. But as for Andy Park, this is exactly what he needs for his championship picture here. Take a look at the standings here for a quick moment. Cody Lawrence not with us here today. We didn't get the guarantee of Cody Lawrence here for the entirety of this championship, so missing out today. Mike Van Dorn P2 with 41 points. And he is with Andy Park. So Andy Park between Mike Van Dorn should get a very great boost of points. Alpha Tail dominating the team standings as well. As we continue this one, here comes the leader now into the pits. Eamon firmly in the box. Rees also in. So now eyes are going to turn to both Alexander Ferrero and Leila Petraglia in this final 11 minutes. Park will now come around to overtake, and it's still going to lead. A couple of drivers still yet to come in. It's the top 3. Eamon still for new tires, maybe damage. Could be repair for the front end. Alexander will get the overtake. Layla will come through. Here is Eamon. Now, is he under pressure? Waiting for the wall on exit, and there is the flying Alexander Ferrero, the Colombian. Now, with some hot tires and a lot of momentum on his side, he's going to see Eamon Assetto up the road, and he is going to be challenging him. The more they fight, Layla's going to get in this battle. So you know what? This battle for a net P2, far from over in this race with 10 minutes left to call this one. A lot of racing left to go, so if you are disappointed from your favorite driver in this top 5 to make an impact, don't you worry. It's still going to get quite exciting. You do not want to miss the final 10 minutes of this race. There's still 5 minutes left to go in the pit box. Santos, Van Dorn, and Tavener are going to stretch out as much as possible. Now, under a second, Alexander Ferrero, and I have a sneaking suspicion a lot of people in chat who are cheering on Layla will also cheer on Alexander Ferrero to get the move done on Eamon Assetto. Top 3 are in the pits. So they're now all going to get shuffled behind this pack here. Emmanuel is still yet to make a pit stop, so unless he comes in this lap, he will be the leader of this one. And Andy Park will now officially shuffle back up to the lead of this race. Here comes Ferrero. Eamon making a mistake on corner exit. We'll have a slow one. And Ferrero, he takes it to the outside. It's going to be tight into turn 1. Does it get pushed out wide? Just a bit, but still holding on. Nose to tail, looking to the inside. Very close together. Eamon with a more preferred line will just be able to inch a bit ahead. Now, Ferrero will have Quebec to navigate through in the dirty air, but cannot let it distract you. A little bit of understeer on corner exit, but it's a great run. They're now going to head into Moz. Where does Eamon put his car? A champion in GT3 just a couple weeks ago. What does he do against the newcomer of Ferrero? He'll defend the inside. Now Alexander having a chance. Now onto the Mario Andretti straightaway. Up the road, it's going to be Emmanuel still needing to make his pit stop. And Eamon is going to be hoping that it's this lap that he can come in. And so drivers can still come into the pits at all times, but they must make their mandatory tire change within the pit window. So once that timer goes up, they can still come in. Pits are always open 24/7, 365. But you must make your tire change within the allocated time, which is now under 3 minutes. On board, back with Alexander Ferrero. Now around the final corner, hunting down Eamon Esper. I'm sure he witnessed what went down between Layla and Eamon not too long ago. Emmanuel does come in, so now it leads these two. And look at the gap that Andy Park has pulled off. 13 seconds up the road. So it's really our battle for second place that we watch now to the very end of this one. How will it go down? Who will finish P2 and P3? Behind them, Daniel Santos closing up on Layla. So this could still very much be 4 cars for the podium. But Alex, once again, all over the rear. Let's take a look at the rear cam of Eamon Esper. Into the double right-handers of Moss. Oh, leaves the door a little bit open here. And Alexander's not going to take that move or that opportunity. So losing out half a second because of it. Meanwhile, Layla's closing up. It's 1.4. Last laps between all of them. Eamon Esper, a 33-0. Alexander, a 33-0 as well. They're matching each other. Layla, a 32-3. She's flying. Behind, Daniel Santos did not have the best of laps. A 2:02. But that is, of course, because of the pits. So Layla creeping up. 6 minutes left to go. It's slowly playing out in her hands, but it's one thing to catch up. It's another thing to overtake. 1 minute left to go on the counter before the pits will officially close for mandatory changes. And right now, we're still waiting on Kirill to come in. He is still yet to make his pit stop, as well as Leonardo. So those are your 2 drivers still yet to come in. They do need to come in once, or they will get a disqualification. That's not what you want in this one whatsoever. You want to be making sure you follow those rules there. We also have this fight back here. As we watch. Switch back to it here. Nevis chasing down Andy Rees. This is your battle for 6th. And Rees now going to be hunted this time by. And into the double right-hander. Both of them going a little bit wide. Looks like a little bit of a harsher slide from Richard. And it's going to send him a little bit further than he would have preferred. And behind them, this is your battle for 8th. Between Mike Van Dorn, Kasper Teshiaki, Alex Hansen, and Daniel Tabener. Just in the background, trying to close up. Now 5 minutes, under 5 minutes left to go. There's no extra lap at the end of this race. So moves have to be done ASAP. Maximum points on offer here for these 2 races here today. So they got to get these moves done, especially that podium fight if Ferrero can get up to 2nd. Round the final corner, Kasper has a lovely run here up the inside. Is it possible? No. Lifts off, backs out. Very surprising. I thought he would have taken that move. A little bit of contact was made between them. But now Kasper has a run on the inside. It was a little bit of a chance. A little bit of trouble. Somebody's off. It's Tavar Clark. So he's a lapped car, and he had an incident all by himself, so he's going to be wanting to stay out the way. There is Tabener sliding the rear in the grass and has got back going. I'm not too sure if it has affected this fight here, but the gap is half a second, as well as Santos putting on pressure on Layla. 2 big battles to watch out for. Daniel looking for this move here on P4. Layla needs to get some big points here. P4 will not do. You need to get on this podium if you want a really solid chance at this championship. But here we go. Game on. Santos round the final corner. 3 minutes left to go. And gaps between 3rd and 2nd, as well as 4th and 5th, are almost identical. In the background, you also see Andy Rees side by side with Nevis. Contact is made between them. They still hold on. Nevis to 6th. Now Rees sent back to 7th. Very, very close between each other. Andy Rees maybe trying to fight on the inside, but it almost looked like 2 wheels were off the ground in that split second. In a very close fight here as they come to the end. Big points up on offer. At this stage now with 2 minutes and 25 seconds, just get anything you can at this point or hold off position. And what is Layla going to be thinking? 4/10 behind Daniel Santos. And here comes Andy Rees down the inside. A great move down the inside. Will regain back to 6th position. Lovely little lunge there. But now, on the back straight, it's about 3/10. So is there a chance that Nevis could close up? 2 minutes left to go. We should be on the 2 to go as Park crosses the line at this time. So we have completed 18 laps. I've done the exact same amount of laps as last week out at Brands Hatch. Rees going a little bit wide. Nevis could not capitalize on that part. But now around the final corner, can Nevis try to put down a move? Just not able to. Back up to this fight here. Ferrero. Any chance at Eamon? What a showcase from Alexander Ferrero, the Colombian driver. Some huge head waves. I'm sure a lot of drivers are already having him on the radar. There's somebody to look out for in this one. And trouble! Was there trouble or was that lapped car? I'm not too sure. I swear I saw Andy Rees pull to the side. Unless it was a defensive move. But Rees is up to 6th. And still is, but for how long? Downhill. Right-hander. Nevis has the inside line. Rees is going to go wide. The door's going to be wide open. Nevis will take it back. 30 seconds left to go. Is it the final lap of the race, or do we have one more? We may have one more lap to go. And I think that's the worst thing that Layla wants to hear. Another lap, and this time, Daniel Santos very confident on the rear end. A move could be over the horizon, but it's 1 lap to go. It's the final lap for round 3 of the championship. Round 4, we have another 30-minute race coming up here. If you love the action here, stick around. There's still more coming up to you. White flag is out, officially. So Park looking to secure victory here with 15 seconds up the road. But it's your battle for P4 as Layla and Daniel Santos fight. Santos has the inside line, a clear entry into turn 2. Layla will have to round it. Hold on wide. Can she send it up Quebec? Side by side, here they come. Layla will hold on. 4th place up for grabs between these two. Santos will still have an inside line of some sort, but now Layla will have the opportunity at Moss if she can hold on. If contact is made between them, Layla will have to send it. Layla will actually stick behind. Not gonna go for that move, but Layla will dive it down the inside. She hits the curb hard. Makes a bit of contact with Daniel Santos, and that may have just killed her momentum. Went for the move. Could she have waited for the back straight? I'm not too sure. But coming around the final couple of corners, it's a win that Andy Park had been hunting since last week at Brands Hatch. Andy Park will cross the line. P1 will win at round 3. Mosport will go to him. Eamon Nasseir will finish 2nd place. Can he hold on at least 1 corner to go? He should, and he will. A big, huge round of applause for Alexander Ferrero, who will finish a mighty P3. Santos on the final lap will get it done in 4th. Layla will have to settle for 5th, where she may believe firmly that she should have earned probably a P2 in this race. As we come to the line, oh, Casper! 360, and Taverner will respect it and let him hold on to P10. But now, down the rest of the order here as the rest of the drivers come around the final parts of this one. And that is it. Andy Park, victory here at round 3 at Mosport. What a performance there from him. But we still have one more race left to go. Park is going to be very, very happy from that one. A great performance. An absolute stellar one. All right, bit of contact here and there. We'll definitely look at that lap 1 and figure out what went down after the race. But as it stands, a great showcase there. We still have one more race left to go, so make sure you're not going anywhere. Another 30-minute race coming up. Exact same rules said. It's going to be the same order you finished in. So we'll have an official review by the end of race number 2. But we're going to get conducted inter-interviews right away. So, there's your race winner. Let's talk to him. But what a race. An awesome one there in the first part. Very exciting. In first position, we invite Andy Park up. A race win you were hunting down at Brands Hatch. You finally get it done here for round 3, and you firmly lead the championship. Andy Park, a brilliant performance. How was that race for you?
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'm glad to be back here. And second, well, there's only so many comments you can make about starting pole, leading every lap. I mean, not really every lap, because, well, I pitted. But I am content with the result. I did some major fuck-ups halfway through the race.
Apologies for the language.
But that's like nothing in the grand scheme of things. So I'm looking forward to the next race. Yeah, I don't really have much comments about the racing, because when you start from, well, there's no action really. But I'm looking forward to the results. Yes.
We can't see what you can do. Hopefully, we'll talk to you again on the podium again, and good luck if you can pull off the big sweep. Pole position, race 1 win, and race 2. I like the confidence. Oh, yeah. Can't wait to see you.
All right, I'll see you later then. Bye-bye.
That's your race winner, P1, Andy Park. We now talk to second position here, Nasseir. A performance here to get up on the podium. P2 for you. Well, wow, crazy drive from you. A lot of action throughout that one. How was that race?
I mean, it was a fun race overall. Like, I was just looking forward to driving for the fun of it. You know, it's like a hobby for me. You're just having fun out there with some overtakes and stuff. I had a pretty good battle with Layla. Like, I'm unsure of what happened in the last corner with the contact, because on my end I didn't feel anything, and I just saw Layla's car like go backward, like, and be overly slow on the exit, like, of the last corner. So I didn't understand what happened there. So with anything, like, I feel bad for the end result, even though Layla had a pretty good recovery. I think like P4, P5.
Yeah, but in terms of your race, you still had a great one there. At the end, you did have Alexander chasing you down. Were you very impressed to see the newcomer here put a bit of pressure on you some parts in this race?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, props to Alexander, like, fought really hard. Pretty sure it's his first podium, right? So props to him. Like, really good fight, kept it really clean, had me going on the defensive quite a few times. So yeah, like, looking forward to seeing him more often in I guess, like, championships. So in the future, where I'll participate with the intent of winning and not with the intent of just having fun, you know.
Well, now, speaking of winning, we now head into the second one, and you start on the front row. Looks like Andy may be set for P1 here. So what's the word as we head into this opening stage? Because I know you're going to be wanting to throw out some elbows, but not trying to spoil your game plan. How are you feeling going into this one?
I mean, I'm going in with the mentality of hoping that either I find something more to fight Andy and make his apparently very boring race a little more spicy. And I mean, he has a massive pace advantage. He did like 250 laps, so it's his to lose, you know?
Can't wait to see what you could do out here, Eamon. Congratulations for P2. Good luck in this next one.
Thank you.
And P3, a first podium here in CMRSC for Alexander. Alex, you join me here in the comms for the very first time. Do we got a mic on you?
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, what is up? That was a fantastic drive from you on the podium. A great result there. Even from qualifying, showed us some great pace. How was that one for you?
It could have been better, but it's definitely a start. I'm relatively new to sim racing and all of this, so I do apologize if I make mistakes and all. Yeah.
Making mistakes is all part of pushing as hard as you can, but to finish up in third with maybe a chance of P2, I'm sure that's going to give you a lot of confidence heading into this second race.
For sure.
Oh, I can't wait to see what you can do in this one. Alexander, congratulations on your first podium. We hope we can talk to you again at the end of the next one. Best of luck.
Thank you.
That's your podium. Top 3 finishers. Once again, what you see on your screen is the unofficial results of race number 1 here today, round 3 of the championship. All reviews, once again, are going to go down at the end of this, at the end of the second race, where we do our race little meeting, where we join up in the voice channel and we'll discuss and go through some of the incidents. Now heading into the second one, it's going to be the exact same rule set. The order that you see finished there, that's going to be the order that's you are going to be starting in. So best of luck. Once again, make sure it's a mandatory pit stop. If you didn't follow the rules of the mandatory pit stop, that will all be sorted out of disqualifications at the end of this race weekend. But nonetheless, though, let's have some fun out there. You should be on the grid very shortly. Best of luck. So, great first opening here, and now we get set up for race number 2. Last week it was very, very eventful, so let's see what will go down here today. We have now the grid packed up, and we're gonna switch our screens over. But if you are joining us here for the first time, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the racing next week out. And for the next 2 weeks, we are still racing MX-5s, and then we switch gears and we go for a different type of championship. Very versatile with different kinds of types of motorsport and racing. And we race every Saturday, so get a part of the action and don't miss out on the type of race you can have here. Some of the best drivers from all around the world. You do not want to miss it here at CMRSC. Or if you're just a fan cheering on your favorite drivers, make sure to like the stream if you haven't already. And if you are a Thrustmaster user wanting to get into sim racing for the first time, you can use code CMRSC on checkout at all official Thrustmaster websites to save yourself a good bit of money. And all proceeds go right back to the league. Thank you, Thrustmaster, for allowing us into your partnership program. Let's get started with the second one here. Andy Park starting P1, followed by Eamon. It's Alexander, Daniel, Layla, Richard, Andy, Prix, Mike Van Dorn, Oleg, Casper, Daniel, Evan, Krill, Tiago, Massimo, Danny, Mohammed, Emmanuel, Leonardo, Pi, Klaus, Tavar, Conti. 30 seconds till we get going. Let's get this one started. Crowd is cheering it on, that's for sure. Let's get it started here for round 4, the championship. Now, I know last time, I don't know if anybody caught it, but I did have a little bit of a botch at the start with my commentary there. So let's try to get this one correct, shall we? Let's get this one going. All bets off the table. Four lights on the board here in Canada. We go racing for round 4. Tandy Park once again with a great start. Eamon will shuffle behind. Daniel Santos will try to get the early run onto Alexander, and he will, going down the inside. Layla behind wants to get a part of this action early on as they all shuffle through from turn 1 now into turn 2. Lots of runoff on the outside. Santos making a little tap onto the grass. Ferrero making a mistake. He runs backwards. Layla's now up to 4th. They head into Quebec. Side by side, Nevis and Andy Rees, they all head through this time by. Now we're going to get into a bit of an action zone this time by. Let's get right up to the top here, and let's watch the drivers go through Moss. Last time we had a huge crash. Will it happen again? They head into the double right-handers. Very slow and steady. You saw Casper try to make a move down the inside of Daniel Taberner. Cannot get it done, but actually on the second right-hander, he will get it done. Onto the back straight here for the first time. And it's Andy Park who leads us off in the opening stages of this one. Single file between them. Nevis will try to go onto the inside as Eamon Aspear will try to get side by side with Daniel Santos. Could not get it done. They all start to shuffle through the Assets now, and here goes Tiago down the inside, almost making contact on the rear end there. There's Muhammad, gonna jump right into the pits. Muhammad will get a drive-through for speeding. I felt like Muhammad was going way too fast coming into the box there, and paid the price. I don't know if it was a drive-through penalty, but it will be now, as they head downhill into the left-hander once again. So racing gonna be a lot closer, I feel. They got their first bit of nervous jitters out the way, and now it's time to push hard. And Andy Park not able to get away as quick as he'd want to. He's got Santos behind. Eamon Aspear will try to get past. Layla wants to make this one an Alpha Tail 1-2, just like as it was in round 1. Now into the right-hander. And Santos a little bit wide off the first right-hander, getting it turned in now completely. A little bit of contact because Mike Van Doorn now finds himself on the inside of Moss. Now the outside of the Mario Andretti straightaway, neck and neck between each other. They all shuffle up. It looks like it may be 3 wide. It is. It's 3 wide. Andy Rees on the outside of this fight here. Who's going to be the first of the late breakers? Mike Van Doorn will have the best opportunity to just send this one and firmly claim that position. Can Ferrero hold on? Park up in the lead. That's one Andy. This Andy Rees, making a little bit of contact with Ferrero, but holding on. Andy Rees and Mike Van Doorn, they go back to 2023, 2024. Their rivalry, undeniably a classic when you look back at those years, and it's fun to see them racing together once again. Ferrero wants to break this up. He does not want any love out here in this fight. He wants some hard racing, and he's going to get it as they go down the hill into the left-hander. The buzzing bees, as a lot of people would call these MX-5 Cups. Head through into Quebec, and oh, Van Doorn's been sent wide. Contact is made. Rees running into the rear, and they both get sent backwards. And look up ahead here. This may get dicey, because Layla finally back to fighting Eamon Aspear, and I wonder if she is going to be feeling very personal about what happened that last race. We'll find out very soon, but this is going to get very entertaining. There is the top 4 escaping, and from 5th down to last, they're all within about a second of each other. This is some really close racing here in the first 5 minutes of this one. How long can it last? Into the Assets now. Layla would love to get this move done, to really show what she's made of. Now into the left-hander. Back down into the right-hander. Still hunting down. Meanwhile, on this fight here, Layla, as we watch on the mini screen, Oleg slides the rear end. Mike Van Doorn, Daniel Taberner through. There is Alexander as well as Nevis going through in the foreground into the right-hander of turn 1. And Taberner all over the rear of Mike Van Doorn. And I know he's definitely going to be worrying about maybe getting a little bit too close, making sure he does not make any sort of contact. Through this fight here, Nevis will try to go down the inside of Moss this time by. Can he get it done? This will be a big move here against Ferrero. Is there a chance, a slim opportunity? No, but will Nevis go wide? He will. Ferrero down the inside. Neck and neck through the double right-hander, but no. And Mohammed did, in fact, have a drive-through. Now, I'm not too sure if that was a jump start. Meanwhile, look at the background there. Oleg did not have the best of exits, so it's kind of separated everyone. And once again, it's 3 wide in the rear. And that's a shot right there. 3 wide MX-5s. Oleg squeezing Tabaner on the inside. Andy Rees around the long way. Can he sweep it past? Oleg's focusing on Tabaner as they head into the right-hander. I felt like contact was going to happen. It does happen. And he's been sent into the wall. And Oleg just could not hold on. 3 wide. And is it going to spin onto the track? No, he stays off the circuit. And that's going to help out the rest of the pack as they now catch up. Meanwhile, Layla squeezed all the way into the grass. No space there, Layla. Eamon squeezing with all his might. Really hard racing between the two. These MX-5s giving us a brilliant showcase. Layla will have to try again, but Layla knows that she needs to get her elbows out. A really harsh fight that she's got to take on here in this one. As now Ferrero will get back on the inside of Nevis. But can Nevis send it back down the inside? Alexander will shut the door on Richard. He'll not be able to get a move, but a great exit like this will help, and it will. Now trying to go down the inside. Now, is there an opportunity to get this move done? It's going to be very tight. If there is a chance, side by side, Alexander may have to tuck back into the slipstream. He does so. Now under the Canadian Tire bridge, but he'll still actually look for a move onto the inside, and he sends it. Nevis with the door wide open. Can they hold on together? Nevis off the inside line. Does he take advantage? He does not. Alexander will get back up to 5th position. Andy Park with the fastest lap of the race on your short screen. You also watch a huge fight down the order, just on the outside of the top 10. We look at that right now between these two, Pi and Massimo. 2 Canadians catching up. Danny Nasseir keeping on for him. Meanwhile, oh, was there trouble there? Alexander losing out. He went wide. Yes, he did. Now, Richard all over the rear once again down the inside. But cannot get it done. Alexander doing a great job of defending. It's allowing Mike Van Dorn and Daniel Tabaner into this fight again. And now, once again, 3 laps here between these two. It's shades of Mike Van Dorn and Cody Lawrence. And Mike is going to be thinking about that battle while he's being hunted down. He was hunted last week out, back at round 2. But now we watch this fight here. Alexander holds the inside line. The sitting duck. Here comes Richard Nevis from P6. Now, is there a chance again for a move? They make a little contact, door banging, very much fine here. Under the Canadian Tire bridge, into the right-hander. What do they do between each other? Ferrero will push wide as much as he can to not allow Nevis a move up the inside. Nevis will not take the opportunity, even if it was there for him. But a little harsh on the curb for Alexander. Nevis may be able to have a chance. Mike Van Dorn has escaped this battle. He's entered the pits for his mandatory stop, so maybe trying to pull off an undercut of some sort between this battle here. We'll find out if that does play out for him. That's not going to be something we'll see for quite a while. So hopefully it pays off. Now downhill, left-hander, Ferrero holding on. Now 2 cars very close between each other. Nevis, though, from completely focusing on the car ahead, now has to focus on Tabaner behind. But a great showcase back at round 2 of the championship. But now what can he do here 2 rounds later? Nevis to the outside again. Will be the inside of Moss. 4th time he's tried this one. Can it work out? Much closer now. He'll send it. Contact is made between each other. Now, right-hander. Can he do it? Can he hold on? Squeezes Alexander. Still a fight to be between them. Take a look at Daniel Tabaner on the outside. Could not stretch his legs there for a move. And now, slipstreaming. Contaminator put a little bit of a bump draft to help out Nevis to try to get ahead of Alexander. Very tight between the two. But now as they head into the exits once again, Ferrero will try to get back going. It's really been a stream here in this race of a two-man battle. Andy Rees is out of this race. He's called it quits. I don't know what went down for him. But something's gone wrong and he is out of this race. Now at the inside, Alexander against Richard Nevis. Nevis on the outside. Holding on to the curb of track limits, shutting the door. Still giving us a great fight. Grass getting kicked up of turn 2. Now into Quebec. First of the late breakers. Oh, Alex turned in a bit too early there. Caught him by surprise. Richard did not turn in. Held him tight. And now he's lost out. Here comes Tavener. Big opportunity here for him. And he's going to stay back into the Moss section here. Little slide from Tavener. Shifting down, though, Richard is going to. So it's going to kill his momentum. Tavener will have a great opportunity here. Can he take it around the outside and complete this move before they get into the S? It's going to be a bit difficult. Pretty tricky around here. To get this one done, Richard firmly P5 on the inside line. Unless he gives up that space, can Tavener find his way to the inside? Nevis will cut any sort of opportunity of an outside move for Daniel Tavener. So Nevis will still continue to hold on to this fight. Now into the right-hander. On to the front straight. Tavener knows the tail. Ferrero will enter the pits. That's why he's out of this battle here. Tavener holding on. Turn 2 now. Does he find the room on the inside? Stays behind. A little kick up on the grass sends him a little bit wide. Very wide, in fact. Tavener, does he switch to the inside? He does not. He stays behind this fight. And Nevis will actually go a little too deep. That's going to cost him. It will cost him. Daniel Tavener, from just waiting all the action to go down there, it's allowed him to soar right past Nevis. And we're almost halfway into this race. We've been mainly focusing on this battle all race long. What a fight. What an absolute action-packed fight that was. Meanwhile, in the background there, I did see somebody getting a little bit of a slow exit. Danny Nasseir actually may have been one of these two. Thiago Ravaz, Klaus Klint. But now, on the slipstream here, top 12 gets points. So Thiago's going to be wanting to hunt down Klaus as Nevis will enter into pit lane. So starting to get underway in this halfway point of the race. And where is Nevis going to end up against Ferrero? We'll find out by the end of this lap. Klaus and Ravaz will enter into the box. And they'll enter in together. So up at the front, it's Andy Park who's stretched his gap out. And we've actually... Have we lost Daniel Santos? We have. Daniel Santos out of this race after fighting on the podium. I have no idea when he left this one. Oh, we're actually getting word in the paddock. Electrical issue in his car. It's exactly what went down back at Interlagos where he lost the championship. So an electrical issue going down there for Daniel Santos. That's him out the race. 2 retirements, Andy Rees, Daniel Santos. Meanwhile, up at this fight here, Nevis was firmly able to get ahead of Ferrero. Meanwhile, there was a bit of contact. Something has gone wrong for Klaus Klint. There he is. He's still in the pits, but there's a rear end that's got some damage, so I don't know if he did touch the wall. Maybe he may have graced the wall, or his repairs are sorted, but we did get some word. But look at the pit lane. It's busy now from P2 to P7. All in. So Eamon Espeir leads this one, and we'll try to see if he can push off and close off 4 seconds now in clear air. Casper will go up to second place. And there is your net race leader now coming out in third. Conti still in the box. We look to the next drivers, and there is Mike Van Dorn. And behind him, this fight doesn't look like it's over yet. This has really been the talk of the stream. It's been what we've been staring at for the whole thing. Alexander Ferrero giving us a great showcase. We have some yellows. It's Klaus off circuit, but he's got back going again. Now into turn 2. Alexander Ferrero, and no credit lost to Richard Nevis. Great racing between the two, and now Ferrero will try his move down the inside. And look, there's Taberner ahead of these two battling. Remember, he came in. And up the road, Mike Van Dorn, 2 seconds, so maybe he could be in this fight. Now Alexander, does he look for a move down the inside? Does not. Down to the second part of Moss. And he even uses a bit of grass to help him out. The curb, though, not being too nice on the rejoin. So we'll have to try a bit hard here to get this move going. But if you are enjoying the action here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on course for 3,000 subscribers. It would mean a whole lot if you could hit that subscribe button. We are on course. So have an amazing 2026 in terms of racing here in CMRSC. You do not want to miss it. Here comes Alex. Contact is made between the two. Can Richard hold on? He can. And that's the second time they've made contact between each other. Klaus has had enough, and he is officially out of this race as well. So he's gone. And they are dropping like flies here in this one. But meanwhile, up at the front, Andy Park now up to second because Casper has come into the box and is now escaping the box. And up on pit exit, Massimo Tutoro will have him for company, and their fight gonna get a bit underway. This is your battle for the top 10. So how will they fare between each other? Meanwhile, Layla also had made her pit stop and is down to P16. Now, I wonder, did she have trouble on her pit box? Because she's almost in last right now. Did something go wrong for Layla? Now, it is reporting that she has just made one pit stop. However, she is so far behind from fighting on the podium against this man here, Eamon Espeir. And I think Eamon may be wondering as well, where did Layla go? Layla should not have dropped down that far. And there comes Eamon Espeir. So Layla had an issue once again. Now, back at round 2, the second race at Brands Hatch, Layla blew up the engine, downshifting too fast. I wonder, did it happen again? We had no sign of what went down, but Layla's completely out the points. P15, gone. So it leaves the top contenders, and Layla's day here at Mosport has gone from bad to quite literally the worst possible thing that could happen if it wasn't engine trouble. Nonetheless, though, if it stays like this, in 10 minutes' time, she'll be scoring 0 points in round 4. And now, as we head into the second half of the championship, she can kiss her championship hopes goodbye. Unless a pure miracle goes down, but I don't think it will. For how close the top points have been. But it's now left Andy Park, of course, leading, going for the sweep. Eamon Espeir, P2, and nobody to fight against. Remember, Daniel Santos had to come in. He had to come in for his box, but unfortunately didn't have a chance because he disconnected at the session. So it's left Taverner for a 1.78 to push hard. Chat saying, who still needs to pit? Well, with 5 minutes left to go, I can assure you it's just Leonardo left to come in. So Leonardo is the final driver left to come in to this race to pit. He's currently sitting 17th. So we may have ourselves a very interesting podium fight coming to the end here. Let's see how it turns out. 9 minutes left to go here in round 4 of the championship. Next week we're in Japan, but we're still racing, same time, same place. We hope you didn't get tricked out by daylight savings. We did start at a slightly different time to maybe when you where you normally tune into the stream. Daylight savings did hit us, but we can assure you this is the time that we're going to be racing every Saturday until November, and we're going to have that slight little shift of time zones as well. But with 8 minutes and 30 seconds left to go, it's left Daniel Taberner 1.5 behind the podium, up ahead of him. Mike Van Dorn currently setting down a 32.6 in the last lap compared to Taberner's 32.4. So 2/10 faster on the last lap, so we know he has the pace. Behind him, Alexander Ferrero is going to be pushing, and he's going to want to get another podium in this race. Massimo, trouble against himself. No, it's not trouble. It's a little bit of a bump draft on the back straight. And Massimo gonna go down the outside. Is there potential space? Yes, there firmly is space here between the two. And can he do it? Can he pull a move around Casper? Very close between each other. Casper's gonna try to close the overlap. A little bit of contact is made nonetheless because of that overlap. Now Massimo will try to hustle around to the right hand on the final corner, completing another lap here. Will go completely wide there into the grass. Holding on though, and there you see some of the people in the crowd cheering on, waving their hands, loving the action here. And we hope you're loving the action wherever you are, anywhere around the world, tuning into this fantastic race. This has been a fun one, the least amount of chaos, but getting ourselves some great racing in the process. And just like last week, we are in store for a battle for the podium. Taverner will have to keep up though. Last lap for Van Dorn was a 32.5 against 32.2. But this lap, Van Dorn is positive on his first sector, so he is going to be chasing down with a vengeance. Chat saying, Danielle actually saying, did the pit on lap 1? Well, if you did come in, then and it was within the pit window, then he should be fine. Because usually AC will disqualify you right at the line if you do not make the tire change. So if he has come in and he has made that pit stop, then he's sorted for the end of the race. It doesn't show that for our side here, but did have an error there for one driver last week out. Take a look at this. Richard Nevis all over the rear of this fight for P5, and Alexander is not going to be wanting any sort of pressure on his rear. He really wants to focus up at the front. And speaking of the front, Tavar has had an issue. Emmanuel now coming around the final corner, and that is actually the leader of this race as well, coming around, and he's going to be making sure that everything is spick and span. Lap traffic, of course, so Park is going to get a free bye between those two cars ahead of him. There's Nevis once again with this fight. On board with him, and take a look up at the front. Oh, trouble! Daniel Taberner making a mistake. I was about to say the gap was 1.2. It's going to open up now. Taberner touching the grass on exit there. Not helpful whatsoever. Not going to be what he needs this time. But there you see it. As there's your race leader going into turn 1, firmly holding on to this race. But in the back here, Nevis trying to hunt down Alexander, but just can't get it done this time by. Oh, and even more trouble. We get yellow flags, contact made between Leonardo and Pi. And both of them, they're actually fighting for 17th. So something must have gone wrong between them. Meanwhile, Tavener now has big trouble. Because on the rear end, Alexander Ferrero is hunting. And he might have to kiss that top 3 goodbye. Because Alex goes for the send. Door is open. Ow, look at that. Nevis tried to look to the inside, had to avoid, but he'll get the move on the inside of an unsuspecting Alexander who was trying to go against Daniel Tavener. And both of them now pushing. Tavener now in trouble. Sent to the inside. Nevis goes through. Tavener sent wide off the circuit. And here comes Alexander Ferrero. Trying to get it done on the outside. Cannot. And now it's Nevis who will take over 4th position. And now he is going to try to chase down Mike Van Dorn with 1.7 left to go. And it is going to get... Oh, it's trouble! Oh, it's trouble! Contact is made! The bump draft did not work there! I didn't get a proper angle of it! But Tavener has been taken out of this one! No, that is not what we wanted to see in that one. I don't know if Alex looked to it. I'm trying to watch back on the stream. It did kind of look like a lag. Maybe Tavener may have lagged back a tiny bit. Whatever the case may be, if it is lag, then it is not going to be the fault there of Alexander, but that is just heartbreaking there for Tavener. He is now down to 8th position. Evan Steinberg, haven't talked about him as much. He's up a position, but take a look at the windscreen there. That is the sight that Tavener will have to look at for the final 2 minutes of this one. It's allowed Van Dorn 2 seconds, and I think that might have been the final nail in the coffin. A second, 2 seconds I gotta pull off, a second a minute. It's gonna be very tight. We could see if Alexander could get back going, but he may now be facing a penalty if that was predominantly his fault for that incident there. And I think Alexander is not going to be worrying too much about the podium. He wants to finish ahead of Richard Nevis. Both of them have had such a stellar battle between the two. With 1 minute and 50 left to go, Park crosses the line to start off. 2 laps left in this one. There you see him dominating this weekend out. It's exactly what he needed. He's firmly in this championship fight. And he is leading it by a long shot. It's his championship to lose coming out of this race weekend. And Mike Van Dorn may have to just settle for 3rd today. But it's this fight here that's undecided on who's taking 4th. It's going to be true bragging rights. And this may be the future of CMRSC right in front of us here. Richard Nevis and Alexander Ferrero in MX-5 Cup giving us a stellar battle here. As Nevis goes wide, Alexander will take the move up the inside. Now on the outside, he'll be pushed wide because Richard's just pushed him wide. There's been a contact between each other. Still undecided. They're going to come up to the final lap very soon. Now Nevis up the inside. Very close between each other. No contact made. Respectable racing between the two on exit. Ferrero a little bit into the dirt. And Nevis up to 4th once again. They can kiss Mike Van Dorn goodbye because Mike should be finishing in a solid 3rd. As they fight, Eros Conti behind will want to get a piece of this action. Andy Park will cross the line now to begin the final lap of this one. The final lap of round 4 of this amazing championship. But like I was saying earlier, this could be the future of CMRC right in front of us. Alexander Ferrero could be a driver to watch out for in the next generation of CMRC, as well as Richard Nevis, both giving us an absolute classic. Man, just imagine if these two were our championship rivals in this one. A little bit of a bump there from Alexander. Looked like the same as he did to Daniel Taberner trouble up the road. It's Van Dorn, but he went wide, so that's why he got some yellow, so slowed down a bit, but white flags firmly out. Timer expired. Undecided on who's taking fourth, but we know the podium should be sorted. Ferrero, a little bit behind this time by. We'll have a bit of work to do to try to climb back up in this final stage of this one. But here we go. Chasing down. Is it enough for him? It's a little too far. It's going to have to be a send of a lifetime. But ladies and gentlemen, Andy Park has just performed a stellar race weekend. Pole position, race 1, and now race 2. Give him the broom. He sweeps at Canada. Eamon Espeir will come around the final couple of corners to finish home in P number 2. Mike Van Dorn pushed to the very end. Could not get it done. And look at Eamon. Actually, is he slowing down? He is slowing down. He's given Mike Van Dorn the points. He's giving him the points. Wow. Alexander and Nevis coming together at the line. It's Nevis who will take fourth position. Very interesting. Eamon realizing I'm not in this championship fight, so he allows his good buddy Mike Van Dorn to say, take the points, buddy. Let's see a fight to the end. A little bit of a respectable one. Andy Park is going to be gritting his teeth pretty hard, but I know he's going to be happy that he's just swept this one. Racing coming to the end here as all the drivers coming to the line. Layla will cross the line. That's a miserable race end for her, P14, and it's going to be one to look back at as what went wrong, unless it was the engine troubles again. But it's her teammate who will be celebrating and popping the champagne bottles. A great performance there. So we get to the checkered flag here. Let's celebrate. And Park is going to celebrate in style. Donuts here in Canada. Tim Hortons, anybody? A lot of fun there. That was some proper MX-5 Cup racing. Seeing some trains going on there. Lots of fun to watch out for. Hope you enjoyed it. All the incidents. If you want an incident to be reviewed, you could send it into the report an incident channel. You could send a ticket and report your incident. Follow the instructions there. If anything happened to you in race 1, race 2, or qualifying. But we're going to talk to our drivers on the podium, starting off with the man who now takes home the broom, a Canadian broom, to add to the trophy collection. You win it here, and you are firmly dominating this championship coming out the first half. How do you feel? Race winners here.
Told you I'd be back here. Nah, I'm kidding. So, well, of course, it's a good mix of emotions. But again, when you are leading the entire time, you kind of like see it coming. So, of course, it's not like other races where I've had to fight till the very end. But overall, it's still a super great feeling, especially in trying times like these.
Take us through that early part of this race. I know you were in the lead, but you still had your mirrors full of a couple guys behind you.
True. I had Daniel start pressuring me. I was, well, yeah, I was a little scared because in race 1, throughout one of the final races, Jesus took the wheel of Daniel and he set a lap that was only like a single tenth slower than my best. So now I was looking in my mirrors like, oh god, this guy might actually catch up to me. But then I saw that he was lapping like 2/10 and then I was like, okay, I used my mouse, I disabled all the live timings and I just looked straight forward and trusted that my pace was superior. Thankfully, it came out well.
Very well now. 2 weekends left to go. 4 more races. You're leading the championship. Has the confidence got up or have the nerves gone up?
Confidence. All the way. I've shown, even Daniel did like a lot of laps, and the fact that I was able to still like inch away, it's like it gives me more confidence knowing that even in similar footing, I can still find that extra edge that I need in order to get a championship. But taking like a little moment, I wanted to thank, like everyone, I wanted to thank two people. First, I wanted to thank Leila for always doing her best. I know this weekend could have gone better as a team because she had the pace on race 2, or on race 1, and some incidents and things like that. But I know she's been trying her best, and with the practice sessions and all of the things, I know she wants to improve. So I think we should also like cheer her up because this hasn't been the best of weekends. And the other person, Ari Mufeitova, which has been, well, for a long time my mentor now and always been cheering for me, so it just made this moment a whole lot more special and memorable, you know? Very grateful.
I know she was definitely watching in the chat, so I can tell you that much.
It's an honor.
Congratulations. P1, big sweep out here today. A lot of work to do to close off this championship, but the first one is just over the horizon. Best of luck to it and celebrate. Enjoy this one. A great performance from you.
Au revoir. I'll see you next weekend, Rahul. Bye.
That's the race winner. Now we head down to P number 2. A P2 to Mike Van Dorn. It was supposed to be a P3, but looked like at the line that Eamon may have let you through there. But nonetheless, though, that was still a very interesting race from you, Mike. How was that?
Yeah, I mean, I got sort of taken out again at the start by Andy Rees there in turn 3, and then yeah, back down to P8 again. Yeah, after that I caught up to, I think it was Alexander and was it Nieves? And then I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna pit, do the undercut, let them fight, and then yeah, that worked. Came out like 2 seconds in front of them, maybe even 3 seconds. And then I got lucky that Daniel's wire, like, whole power went out. And of course also lucky that Leila threw race 2 again. So yeah,
okay.
Lucky
Well,
to be on the podium, and then I don't know. I think he might have run out of fuel or something. I don't know anything about team orders. Doesn't exist here. But yeah, hopefully the championship is still alive now with that P2. But yeah, we'll see.
I'm sure it will be alive. It will be a lot of work, though. So, but you are going into next week at one of your favorite circuits, Sportsland Sugo. So I'm sure confidence is going to be up there for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I like the track, so should definitely be a fun one. And hopefully I don't get taken out in race 1 this time, and I can actually finish at the front in both races. And then maybe with some luck, I can be right back in.
Can't wait to see what you can do there. Congratulations, P2 on the podium and championship firmly on.
Yes, thank you.
And in P3, what's supposed to finish P2, but a very respectable moment. Top 10 respectable moments here in CMRSC. Eamon, giving away your P2. I think I know why, but take us through that race nonetheless, though. How was that one for you? A very interesting one to be fighting throughout that one, especially a great fight with Leila, but I'm sure you want to talk about me with this one. How was that for you, though?
I mean, it was a pretty good second race. Like, it was pretty fun. The fight with Leila. On lap 1, I'm pretty sure you must have noticed that I let through Danny to give him a shot, like, at catching Andy. And he was doing a pretty good job at keeping him honest, but we're just losing too much time on the straights with the paddle shifters. The upshift speed is way too slow compared to an H shifter. But yeah, otherwise it was a lot of fun. I mean, at the end, like, honestly, I was just getting bored because I was in no man's land, so I was scrolling a bit through reels and watching a bit, like, the stream itself to try and see what happened to Danny and try and see what happened to Leila. And then, like, I saw that she was nowhere. I mean, I don't know, she finished like P14 or something, so I was just watching that to try and figure out where I was gonna position, and I guess I must have fallen asleep or something by the end, you know, and Mike just got the position, you know.
Looks like it. But, you know, 2 races left to go nonetheless. I know you're doing it for a lot of fun here, but hey, still got some stats on the line for you. Do you think you can snipe a race win with 4 races left here?
I mean, if I'm feeling like it next week, I might actually like plug my 8 shifter and see if we can be more competitive, especially if the track is more fun or something like that, so that I don't have to go on Instagram reels on the back straight, you know.
Sugo is definitely going to keep your hands full if you haven't tried it out, but in these cars, we'll find out. Nonetheless, though, very respectable moment from you, giving Mike the P2. So you still finish on the podium, nonetheless, back-to-back for you. Congratulations, and best of luck to see what you can do in the final couple of races.
All right, thank you.
That's going to do it here for rounds 3 and 4, round 5 and 6, coming up next week. It'll be at Sportsland Sugo. The server and the session will be up right away. Race review will go down right now in the lounge chat if you want to jump in for a little bit and review any sort of incidents you had. Otherwise, we'll see you next week, same time, same place. And that's going to do it here. A fantastic bit of racing. Thank you so much for tuning in to another showcase here. 4 races left to go. Andy Park looking for his first championship in CMRC. Can he do it? We'll find out. Just 1 week away. If he could sweep it again, we may have to call him a champion early on, depending on where everyone is. Mike has a long road ahead to become a 6-time champion. Let's see how he does. In the next round, Japanese GP for the penultimate round, the penultimate weekend of MX-5 Cup.